Hey guys, welcome to another question and answer. So I thought I'd start this show a little bit different, and maybe we'll incorporate this into the show from now on. I don't know, but I've had an interesting job come in with a customer's own material, which I took in. I am taking more customer's own material in against my better judgment, but for a reason that, as you guys know, if you've watched this before, you don't make the profit, as much profit on COMs, obviously, and also you get COMs that, they're not tested, you don't know where they come from, they don't have any of the specs on them, so it's always a mystery. So I got these two club chairs that came in, two club chairs.
Don't know if that's better.
Oops, Patrick, can you give me another one?
I don't know if that sounds better.
This is gone. Sorry guys, a little technical difficulty here. All right, so I had two club chairs come in, okay, and they were fully loaded club chairs. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Okay, they had skirts. This is really old school. They had skirts. They had a seat cushion. They had a back cushion. They had the two welted arms and welting on the outside back. A lot of work, a lot of detail in these. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. I don't have any visuals for you because the customer already came and picked them up. She was very happy. She brought me in a homemade Mexican meal, which I was very happy about. Once in a while, see, we have to focus on the positive, you guys. We're getting a lot of negative with the inflation and everything. I'd like to talk about that a little bit later, but things are a little tight right now, and it's the summertime, so I think that has something to do with it. But I wanted to open up with the two club chairs because people watch this to try to learn, and sometimes I go on a little bit too much, and I'm sorry about that, but that's part of the whole process, I guess. But the customer brought me in a laminated fabric, if you can believe it, a floral laminated fabric. So forgive my illustration here. I bet Michaela could do a much better job. But let's just say it had a flower here, it had a flower up here, off-centered, and it had another flower here, and then all little mini motifs throughout. Okay, but it did have a prominent motif. So it's really important that when you talk to a client, especially if they have their own fabric, that you tell them what the expectations are going to be with the placements. So what's interesting about this job is that I determined that the fabric was half overall and half, yes, you should pay attention to one of the flowers. So what I ended up doing is before I draw out how many different measurements I took the main motif and I scented the seat cushion, the back cushion, and the seat, and I didn't center the skirt. It was such a big repeat so all the other pieces I more or less overhauled it, but I did pay attention though. What you don't want is a double motif, a double main motif on the piece. You know what I'm saying, guys? I'm sorry I don't have a visual for you. But I did want to go over how many different parts there was. So you really have to get, you don't just start cutting. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, right? And that's what, and then the first is with the client. Make sure the client knows what their expectations are going to be and what your opinion is of the fabric and how it's going to be put on. So it came out great. It's exactly what I told them was going to happen, was going to happen. So I just want to show you the different parts of this. So we have a seat, we have a deck, the two times two. We have on the arms, we have an inside arm, an outside arm, and a border. Now the border on these runs this way, so the top is this way. And I hope you guys are grasping this. So what I do is when I have an inside arm, outside arm, border, all those are sewn together with the welt on each side, right? And so the inside back, outside back, we already have our outside arm, and then all your cushion pieces, okay? Seat, top and bottom, seat, boxing, seat, cushion, this is cushion, right? Seat cushion, zipper, and then your back cushion. Back, front and back. You guys know it's a front and back. It's not it's a top and bottom on as you. This is really important because you want to make sure you get your flower going to the top, and the seat has a front. The seat has a front. Front. So back, top and bottom, boxing, zipper. So I'm going really fast here, but and then you know our usual up and down measurement, side to side measurement, and then fit all of what I mentioned in. So I knew instantly when I saw the fabric, when you lay the fabric out, I knew, with my experience what I wanted to do, and that is expressed in as clear or as basic way to the client. The client doesn't want to get lost too much in they're hiring you after all. Your professionalism, and she did say, I trust you, but you still have to make sure, that she didn't even have enough fabric to do this, a flow on the fabric. She got a match, a very thoughtful job. She didn't get a flow. Big difference, okay? She wouldn't have had enough fabric. It was like a 36-inch repeat. So I really didn't get into that with her. I just told her, this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to come out. I didn't get into why it's not possible to flow everything on her chair. It wouldn't have looked good anyhow. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but anyhow, that was a quick explanation. Sorry I don't have the visuals. I do have a visual on another job that I did. Remind me, Patrick, to show them, I took pictures, to show them of the leather tufted rocking chair that I just did. And it's really beautiful. It came out great. So what right now we're going to do is we're going to go to the Facebook, right?
Yep.
So we're back to our weekly, I hope. Right, Pat?
Yep. Until we decide to go away again somewhere.
We have no YouTube comments?
No.
What's going on with YouTube?
We're not posting anything again.
We got stalled at 23,000.
I never know where you are. You're so busy, you can never even...
Well, maybe we should just put a GoPro on me all the time. That might
already thought of that.
That could be a problem. I just got to make sure I shut it off at certain times.
We'll have to, when things settle down, you're so busy right now, they don't even catch you for one video.
Malcolm gave us at least one thumbs up on the... I don't even know where the GoPro went. Where is it?
At the house. At least I got it back.
We need to get it back with the harness. We need to get a new harness. We lost the harness, Malcolm. Is he on there, Patrick?
Yeah, he is.
If you can
Malcolm
believe it.
posted. To see what he posted.
He posted something really interesting, This is really...
That's unbelievable.
Doesn't happen
Talk about hitting the jackpot.
So Facebook forum is where you guys can go to get people like Malcolm, experts like Malcolm on there. We'll advise you and help you with projects. And we have how many? 400 or 500 people on there, Pat?
Almost 5 at this point.
So that's pretty good. So Malcolm writes, how many of these were put out on the curb? He's
I
questioning.
just realized now I got to put the mic back over because they're sitting over there now.
Sorry.
Oh, grab it for me. That's the only problem with this mic.
So Malcolm has posted this picture of this beautiful chair. I have to say I've never seen one quite like this. But anyhow, he puts it up. It's a modern chair. This is what was found
Imagine just leaving that on
in the
on a corner.
trash, which happens to be a $85,000 chair. Are you kidding me? It went from TikTok's $50 Facebook Marketplace sells for $85,000 at Sotheby's. I think this must have been made by a famous upholsterer or something. But he doesn't tell me the name on this. What type? Maybe he could tell us what the maker was. I've never seen one. It reminds me of a puppet chair, but I know it's not a puppet chair. A bear chair. I know that's not it. It's got a really interesting slant, slight, more so than usual, back incline. It's really interesting. Well, thanks for posting that, Malcolm. And you guys can see that on Facebook. If you want to join Facebook.
Well, everyone knows, did he know what he was picking up off the corner, that person? It was just...
No,
he must have. He got it appraised.
No, I bet he liked it and picked it up.
How did he find out it was worth that
And then
much?
maybe he did his research after that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So Nico Robbins said she posted, she said, hi folks, mission accomplished before and after photos on some projects that she's been working on. Oh, I like these. She's got a bench, but she's got one of those, what do they call these? Malcolm probably knows the chairs that, I call them telephone chairs, the ones that are attached like that. But there's probably another Victorian name for it that escapes me. I didn't look at this before we get on, I should have. But Nico is really prolific, isn't she, Patrick?
Man, she's always posting something.
I appreciate that.
I don't know how she gets all this done.
Didn't she
so
post
much stuff.
something really colorful, some dining room chairs last week or something?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And I think it's only just her. I don't know how she does all. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she has a crew, but doing a lot of stuff.
So I want to talk a little bit about business is challenging. I mean, we give a lot of estimates and we don't get all the estimates that we give. We are, we're all in this inflation economy, so we're all interested in saving money, I guess. But the fact is, my vendors don't call me and say, "Hey, we know you're in an inflationary economy, so therefore we're going to cut back. We're going to give you a 10%, 15%. That never has happened in the history of my work. But my customers ask, and I sometimes will offer sale price if it's a little slow, just to entice people. But so lately, we've got about $20,000 in invoices that are not going anywhere, that are in a dead file, and this is just like recently. So I really do think, I don't want to be negative, but I do think inflation is kicking in for a class, middle class, upper middle class. I think this is affecting the way people are spending on the non-essentials, which, let's face it, upholstery is. So I'm going to start focusing on. I've been doing a lot of cushions, selling a lot of cushions. I'm going to have to go back to repairs. I've been probably trying to get away from repairs, but because there's a logistic problem with space storage. But it's just one of the challenges, one of the many challenges of operating a small business. And I really do respond quickly, and I get myself. You have to motivate yourself to get spark. You have to spark yourself and rise to the occasion, which I've been doing this week. It's just been a crazy man running around. But I'm meeting payroll and I'm meeting bills, so that's all I care about. So anyhow, Michaela's going to talk about. We do have some estimates that we're happy about, and we're going to do those now. And so she's going to come on. I'm going to get my phone, and people like this part because it gives them an idea where the economy is going. So when I give these prices right now, you guys, I am going to give these prices with sales in mind, with the low sales numbers in mind. So they're going to be a little bit, you may not notice it, but they're going to be a little bit smaller in price. And we may or may not offer, while Michaela and I talk, and we may mention sale prices within the estimate that we do, okay? So let's go to the first one, Michaela. First estimate, and we have pictures too, guys, so that if you're interested in that. Is that Alice? No, that's not Alice. I had to answer Alice, by the way, because she called. It's funny, people, with these emails, some of these emails are a little old. I've been waiting for them to do today, but I'm usually more, I want to be more responsive to the emails, so there's no excuse, right? Is that first one Libby?
Yeah.
Well, this might be a...
Well, hold on.
Libby
Yeah,
wants
so
to...
those are both scams.
Libby, oh, it's a scam. So we get a lot of scams. Let's get rid of that. Do we put a trash in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, trash that one. Christine?
Yes.
Do you want to read that?
I sent in a form on Monday requesting a quote for a new chair, new foam insert on my chair cushion. Hoping to make a decision soon on having the repair done. Just confirming that you got my request for a quote. The new foam insert on a chair cushion measuring 24 by 23 by 6 inches.
$174. So let me just show you guys the chairs. So I told you I'm going to have to start doing more of this. If I get 10 of these a week, I'd be happy. Of course, it doesn't work out that way.
How much did you say?
$175 for a new foam insert. Another thing, you guys, pay attention to your subtle increases over a little time. It's subtly, I've noticed that the foam, we're not making as much on the foam, so I've increased the foam prices. I was getting $150 for a cushion like that. Remember, it's 6 inches too, off the top of my head. I'm figuring I'm trying to make 50% profit. You can't blame me for that. I mean, some places like automobile parts and things like that, that's 400%. I'm only making 50%. I think most upholsterers in the same category. Again, we're not essential. And I think that I think upholsterers are very fair with their pricing, maybe too fair. I really do believe that. And we're not out to kill anybody with pricing. Probably wouldn't work for us anyhow. We've talked about how manufacturers have kind of really set some price points for us upholsterers and trying to made our job much harder to sell with some of the deals that they offer. And you know, so unfortunately, sometimes people just look at the top of a piece of furniture, the newness, the smell, but not the quality. And I think that, you know, you have to convince somebody to reupholster, and you have to kind of really lean towards the quality of the piece that they might have. So it's sometimes it's a challenge because you're talking maybe double the amount of money, and like I said, we're in a tight economy, so it's a little kind of getting a little tough. Oh, what's the next one?
Next one is.
Oh, can we read? I'm sorry, but before we get to that, I want to read this one from Beth.
Beth.
This is a customer. I was at home last night thinking, I've had some really good people in my life come through my shop with students and customers. I really have. I don't want to, you know, sometimes we can get bogged down by the negatives, but this woman used me during the COVID, and it was a time where we really needed it. We didn't have any work. She called me in. I traveled to pick up 4 chairs. It was a really good job. You know, we had to set it up where I would go to the garage and pick it up, and she called it a crucial time, and I really appreciate it. So last night I was thinking about it, so I sent her off an email thanking her, and she just replied, "How wonderful to hear from you." She said, "I've so enjoyed both sets of chairs and got a lot of compliments on them. I'm so grateful you would by working on them then. I think you were one of the few folks I saw during the difficult time. So not only did she help me, I think I helped her." And she went on to say some personal things, but she just really, with peace, she says, Beth. I mean, you know, that meant a lot to me, that email, and at that time it meant even more to me, that job. So I just thought I'd mention that. Customer service and just being decent to people. I think that if you do those things and you're in for the long term, you're not here fly by night. If you fly by night, I don't think you're as nice. You don't. There's nothing in it for you. But you know. But if you're going to be around for a while and trying to build a business anywhere out there, you guys. And I'm so happy to see Blair. He's one of my protege. He's a protege. He's down there really making a difference. Not only he's taken the community thing, which I'm really happy about. He's doing this community stuff. He's got his own business down there in Alabama. You guys should check him out, Blair Gilly, on Facebook. He posts some really awesome things. He's doing more than me. He's doing refinishing and everything else. So good for him. He's a real go-getter. I think if you really work hard in this business, you can still achieve the American dream. I really do believe that. And what's the next one? Dorian?
Yes, but before that, Malcolm says, Henningsen has a dedicated following among design lovers. It turns out that Miller's chair dated to around 1935 and was only one of 50 ever made.
Wow, that's awesome. It deserves to be in a museum, doesn't it, Michaela? What does your art sense tell you about that chair when you look at that chair?
I mean,
Your artistic
it makes sense
eye.
why there's only 50 made.
Yeah, it's a beautiful chair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is Dorian.
Hello, I have 2 old chairs, maybe 40 years old, that I would love to have redone. Pictures attached. I think what's on there now is watered silk, and it would be great to find fabric that is as close to that as possible. Do you need to see them in person to give an estimate? Do you do pickups and deliveries? I am in West Cambridge.
So, you guys, do you see that this is a Parson chair? These are so difficult to do. Really difficult to do. So we're gonna have to, we should tell her that. Say, you know, these are beautiful Parson chairs. I think they're Ethan Allen, but I'm not sure, or Allen Furniture. How should we frame this? These are beautiful Parson chairs.
Well, I just have it set as, hi Dorian, these are beautiful chairs, but they're also very difficult to do.
Okay, okay, good.
That being said,
the labor is $1,500 each. She's probably gonna drop down when she hears that. Dump. Yeah,
and also, there's no way we can find anything like that fabric.
Yeah, you could. Do you have any silk-like fabrics?
The only things are those ones that person Sue was wanting to use. Remember with the arches?
Yeah, we don't want to.
That's the only.
We
thing
don't
that
want to
would have
encourage
anything
silk.
like that.
on this anyhow. Silk's an impossible fabric to work on these chairs. I don't know what they probably would used a silk taffeta, which is a very basic silk. But we're gonna try to dissuade her from silk. So, you know, we would try to go to it has to be a solid fabric, but maybe a linen. We would highly recommend a linen on this. And the yardage, unfortunately, the yardage on this, you guys, I'm gonna show you guys again. It's a tremendous amount of yardage on these. That basically what you see with the Parson chairs, if you look at the side of a Parson chair, you need the cut on that needs to be a full width of fabric, not just what you see. You have to cut the fabric. That's how it's done. So on these ones here, she needs 8 yards apiece. I mean, she's probably not going to do it based on that even. And we'll see what happens. They take a lot, the translation is they take a lot of time, a lot of labor. They're very fussy to do Parson chairs, to do them right. Sometimes they have a little groove underneath the arm and down the leg and the back that allows you to put, to staple and then to drop a welt in there. Usually it's glued, a welt, just to hide it. Sometimes they don't have that and you have to hand stitch it. I can't tell from this photo, so we have to cover ourselves as a result of that. So what's the next one?
Carly.
Carly, hold on a second. Sorry, I'm getting challenged. Okay, Carly, okay, what's that one? You wanna read that?
Hello, I am looking for a quote to have our dining room chairs reupholstered. We have 6 regular chairs and 1 armchair in need. I do have some fabric that I have previously purchased, but would be open to suggestions if you have any in-house fabric inventory. Images attached below for reference.
So this is a little different, you guys. I think she's got a set, 2 different sets of furniture. She only said she had 1 armchair.
Yeah.
You notice on the armchair, the fabric, the outside back is extended to the seat, whereas the other ones are open backs, you guys. So you got to note that because one is more expensive. The armchair is a little bit harder to do. So, how many did she say she had?
6 regular chairs and 1 armchair.
Okay, for the six regular chairs, they're going to be for labor. They're going to be $225 each. And for the armchair, it's going to be $250 for that. Here's another picture, straight on, you guys. That's a little unusual to only have 1 armchair. And so they have a set of 7. Is that what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
So the fabric, the total fabric that she needs, and obviously, I don't know if they'd have enough fabric, but we would like to sell her our own fabric. You might want to say we recommend our fabrics, or whatever you want to say. But you're talking a yard a piece, so 7 yards of fabric, 7 yards total, 1 yard each. So the other thing I'm trying to do is keep the yardages. I'm always doing this. I'm trying not to inflate yardage, you guys, if you can help it. You have to be confident in the yardage that you give, but you know, if one upholsterer out there is being very liberal with the yardage amounts and you're not, that could be the difference of getting a job. And I have to tell you, I'm getting a lot of people who are shopping. A lot of people in the 30, 40-year-old range customers who are shopping. I mean, I could be the 3rd upholsterer they're going into. So what's disturbing to me about that is that they're not necessarily looking at reputation or my age or how long I've been doing it. They're not necessarily looking for quality. I get that feeling that they might it's just a feeling that I'm getting in that age group right now, at least, that they may want the best price rather than the best upholsterer. That's what I'm feeling. So, and we are getting more competitive. There's more competition definitely out there. Okay, what's the next one? Clara?
Yes. Now, this one I looked at briefly, and it was kind of, it was very difficult to look at because you have to click on that PDF link.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
And I don't know if the files are just super large, but it takes a long time for them to load. And, yeah, I mean, they already have what they want for fabrics on there.
Well, we don't need to see it then. Let's not waste too much time. I'll tell you, because I can smell shoppers when I can smell if this is a shopper, I think. But let's be courteous and let's give the estimates, and it is a designer. And, well, this is coming through now, but, okay. I have a picture now, okay. I think for people at home, they'd like to see this. So there's the two
yeah.
club chairs. Let's start with the two club chairs, you guys. Two clubs. Those are gonna be $1,200 each. Hold on. $1,400 each. And the ottomans are semi-attached ottoman, which if you guys have done those are a lot of work. So we're gonna do $525 for the ottoman. Is she looking for yardage or no?
No, she's gonna have her own fabric.
Alright, so let's not bother with that. So I got the two club chairs and the ottoman here. Did come through, but I could see what you mean about the other ones not loading very fast. Okay, here's the sofa. That is a pretty big sofa. Talk about a lot of frills in that sofa. You got 3 cushions, 3 seats, 3 backs, 2 bolsters, a skirt, and a lot of work. We're gonna say $3,400 for that, plus 24 yards of fabric.
Alright, so you said $2,400 for the sofa?
No, 34.
Oh, okay, 34. Okay.
Ready for the next one? The slips for the seats.
Yeah, so it says there's club chair, sofa, and dining chairs.
Dining chairs are $150 each. How many does she have?
6.
Which doesn't matter. $150 each, and that's it, right? So here's an example, you guys. You know, the times. You know, she has her own fabric, so there goes about, I don't know, if I had to guess.
At least half.
What's that?
At least half of the whole job, or possible.
Well, it's half of the whole. The whole job could come to, let's say, $10,000, with $5,000 being labor, $5,000 being fabric, but half of the $5,000 number is profit.
Yeah.
So let's say about $2,500 of profit is going somewhere else. So that just, I had somebody bring in.
And one of the fabrics that they chose is Cravat. We could get that one, but
Yeah.
they're just gonna say, "Oh, well, we'll get it all."
Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll
Which
give them an
is just
estimate
what I'm
and
assuming.
hopefully get the job if, you know, it's work, it's labor. But, you know, I had a woman bring in she brought in her own fabric and her own foam. And I gave her a price to do the labor. She said, okay. I said, okay, I guess I could use the work. And she called a couple of days later saying that she's gonna come pick them up, that she's gonna get somebody else to do the labor. I mean, there's gotta be a song about that. It's usually probably a country song. I could make up some lyrics just off the top of my head. I'm a honky-tonk upholsterer with no work to do. Somebody brings me in fabric and foam, and I say yes, and then, you know, et cetera, whatever.
The next one is Maureen.
Moving me right along.
From July 10th.
Okay.
But before that, Malcolm says, how many rare chairs are thrown away because restoring them was quote unquote too expensive? Sad.
Yeah.
My main competition is new, inexpensive furniture.
That's right. I mean, let's face it, you know, when you look at the world market and new furniture and cheap labor, and I'll say it, just say it. You're talking government-sponsored slave labor in some of these factories, let's face it. I mean, you've got people who aren't getting paid, they're feeding them pretty much. They're skilled people. You know, these are coming from countries, I won't mention the countries, but you know, this is what we're competing against, no labor or low wages, and the fabric, the furniture shipped over here, and really, I gotta tell you something, you guys know, you see some of this furniture, the top cover, they're great at making things look good, I mean, let's face it, but we know, I was talking to a client today, you're talking about fabrics, they're not gonna be putting 25 to 200,000 double rub fabric on this furniture, because they want to sell you another sofa this is lasting, it's made to last 5 to 7 years, and I'm not even getting into the interior. The interior is meant to fall apart. It's either the fabric or the interior is gonna fail after 5 to 7 years. And I told you before, they got caught during COVID with this stuff. Manufacturers really got caught because we were at home. We're sitting, I don't think they saw this coming. People being at home using their furniture. Let's face it, we're a transient, active society here in America, and I think that they got caught. So you bought something right before the pandemic, and then you're into a year of the pandemic, and the furniture's falling apart. Seriously, literally, people were coming to me saying, "What's going on here?" And I tell them, "This is what's happening." But you know, we like the shiny stuff and the cheap shiny stuff. Let's face it, and that's what you're competing against, Malcolm. You know that. You know, we have to sell ourselves all the time, and we have to sell ourselves. Make sure that your website is up to snuff. You guys are out there. You're trying to do this. I think we've got compliments all the time. I don't tell you guys, Patrick and Michaela. I don't tell you a lot, but we do get a lot of compliments on the website. We do. And I mean, you have to keep yourself up to date and looking glossy on the website. And then your reputation is important. That's hard, you guys. You guys have to get out there fighting. I said this was a tough week. It's hot here in New England, and I'm out there sweating. And even though I have air conditioning, I'm moving. I'm sweating even at work in the air conditioning. I'm just really trying to get things moving. I could go into a lot more detail, but I won't. What's the next one?
Maureen, and that's from July 10th.
Hold on. Maureen. Sorry. Actually, we've been holding off giving these estimates because we wanted to do it live. So just to let you know, usually I'm a little quicker on the estimates than this. Okay, what's this one? You can read it.
It just says chair upholstery. Thank you.
That was to the point, huh? Well, she happens to have a very nice chair there. I like it. So we're gonna say $1,200 plus 7 yards of fabric. All right. Any other questions before we go on to the next one? If there is a next one, any other questions or comments?
Just a comment. Malcolm says you need to just sell your courses to the DIY material crowd, as well as international trade can be grossly unfair. We have lost lots of industries to low-wage, no-regulation countries.
Malcolm gets it. I mean, really. I mean, this is a problem. I was out on I very rarely sit down in front of my shop. There's a bench that the barber shop has put out. I said, please don't do that, because I know we have a variety store, and I know people are going to be on that bench smoking, and smoking is like smoking around gasoline with fabric. You guys know that, but you know, I can't tell them they want their bench. So this morning there was a woman out there smoking. I mean, she's smoking up like a chimney. The smoke's wavering into the shop, and I had a customer. Just so happens the customers come in at the same time. It's just so bad for business, so bad. But nobody cares, you know. So what can I say? Woe is me. I mean, I'm not one to go out and tell somebody not to smoke, but I don't know what else to do because I want to be a good neighbor. But I knew that was going to happen. You invite people to sit down, they're going to smoke, they're going to do all kinds of things on a bench. But what was I was trying to make a point there, Michaela. You got me get me back in focus. What Malcolm said. Oh, what was we talking about? I lost my train of thought. I'm tired, guys. Okay, the heat's really affecting me today. And then I gotta go to work tonight. I got a delivery tonight that I have to go on in Boston. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I have to keep up with things. Sorry, Malcolm. Maybe Malcolm can cue me. He was talking about manufacturers and how unlevel playing field that it is. Oh, so I was out front, and a young man came by and wanted to know if I needed any help. And unfortunately, I have no place to put somebody right now. It's a small shop. It's a long story, but I don't need that type. I don't need inexperienced help. But I was thinking though that if that were 100 years ago, he would be walking down the street and he would probably have his pick of manufacturers on that particular my particular street, where you could work a day. I mean, you could go into somebody's shop. You could go. I'm using the example of a blacksmith or a barrel maker. This is 100 years ago, guys, or 150 years ago. But there would be shops. And they would be active, and they would be moving, they would be producing, and they could use somebody to come in and clean the floor at least and pay them a couple of bucks, but a totally different feel now to Main Street. You guys know that. Any Main Street you go down now, it's empty. I'm not talking malls or strip malls, I'm talking about Main Street. They're empty, and manufacturing jobs are gone. And manufacturing jobs fill a vital need for young people who are caught in between. Not everybody can go and have a master's degree at Harvard University and come out in a job. There's so many people out there that could use light manufacturing jobs or entry-level jobs. It really drives me crazy that we're losing a lot of these jobs. I don't want to get into politics, but I see a real need for this. I mean, I know we can't reverse the clocks, but there are. Well, it's a frustration I have. But anyhow, is there any more estimates?
No, that's it.
There was one more in there that Abigail, that I wanted to read. Oh, and this is a compliment to you guys, so it's a great segue to what I was talking about. Old Sofa's new dog. Dear Upholstery on Broadway, hello. And thank you for what you do! ! Finally, somebody recognizes us. The work on your website is beautiful. Did you see this, Michaela?
No, I didn't.
I'm hoping to put new, more comfortable filling in some sofa cushions. Current filling is disintegrating with leather covers that will need little reinforcing and perhaps patching. Right now we have a rescue pup that eats everything at this stage, so I'm hoping to refill and then patch the old covers now. And then in about a year or two, when he stops being so chewy, I could think about getting our final covers. I have 3 sofas, 2 of the 2-seaters and 1 of the seaters. They're this type of sofa in the photo. This isn't mine, just a photo of the model. So I actually called her and I talked to her because there's a lot of complications in this job. And like I said, I don't mind getting a sofa cushions to restuff. I mean, there's some money there, so why not? And so we had a long talk, came to the conclusion, and gave her the estimate. The estimate wasn't bad for her for foam and Dacron, but she wasn't ready to do it. She'll be ready in about a year. But I made a contact, so I'm not unhappy. So I just thought I'd mention that. But a shout out to Patrick and Michaela for their work on the website, which drew this particular client in. And sometimes we don't even know. I mean, that's another thing about what they do in the background. And what the online classes, you guys at Upholstery on Broadway at the website, the store on Upholstery on Broadway, the DIY store, the online classes that you can get through Upholstery on Broadway, the Facebook page, Broadway Upholstery Facebook, and what else am I missing? I'm missing, and the YouTube. What's the name of the YouTube, Patrick?
Oh my God!
You're still there? You asleep? What's the name of the YouTube?
Broadway Upholstery School.
Same as the Facebook.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see.
You're testing me. All right. I thought you forgot, so you're not that much out of it, are you?
See if you were awake. But you know, when you
You're
look
on
at
it
all
right
that
now.
stuff combined, Malcolm, right? All that stuff, right? You know, and it's still running a small business. You know, you can't be just. You know, people make this mistake all the time. If you're going to be opening up a shop, make sure that you've got this machine behind you before you open that. If you're going to be opening a brick and mortar up, and I would say use the example of Blair down in Alabama, who took our advice, Patrick, and started slow. Blair started in his living room. I asked Blair. We did an interview with him. Remember that interview we did with him?
Yep.
He
I wasn't here for that.
Well, it was incredible. It was a phone interview. He started with, I said, what was your first shop? He said, what was the shop? It was my living room, 40 square feet, and was watching your videos. He's watching every video that he could of mine. And then I said, what was your second? And I don't quote me exactly on this, but his second was his garage. It's 400 square feet, right? And then he got a small business. He got a small brick and mortar, but he had already started to establish a business before he did that, which was really smart. And he started doing his own social media and all that. And so he got to a 400 square foot shop. And now I think he rented the store next door. And that's another, I think that was like 1,400. I think he's like 2,000 square feet or more. And he was advertising for helpers. He was going to hire people. And he's doing now, you guys should check him out really. He's a good kid he's in his 20s. But he had motivation, he took some advice, and he ran with it. He's really doing well, I think. I think and then he's doing, guess what, Patrick? We're going to have some competition. Blair's doing some YouTube videos.
Oh, cool.
You gotta watch him.
Oh, that's good though. That's
The
awesome.
protege is catching up to the master, right?
That's awesome.
But it's a compliment, I think, and I wish Blair, he's got a young family, he's got some kids, and he's able, look at, he's doing for this community. It's a small community in Alabama. I can't remember the name of the community that he's in, but it looks like he's doing a lot of the community stuff that you should do as a business. If you have some success as a business, that you should be giving something back, and I think that's wonderful. So anyhow, do we have any other business, Patrick, to talk about? Any announcements?
I don't think right now. No, it's slow for us. So
Oh, I
come
hired
the
Jimmy.
fall.
I hired Jimmy. Jimmy's coming in on Saturdays to help me out. He's giving me a little bit of a boost. So by doing that, and so he's coming in on Saturday. So
And speaking of Jimmy, hopefully by the fall we start filming the next class.
right,
So that'll pick up. We were trying to get either something tufted or a sofa. Still haven't decided.
I think
so.
you're going to have to bring Jimmy down from the clouds. I think you've boosted his ego up with that picture of him with the wings. He's starting to buy his own press there, Pat. He's starting to believe his own press.
But he had a nice summer off, but once the fall comes back, we'll be doing more.
Going to have to bring him down a little bit to earth and get him to do some more work. But we promise that will be happening soon. Any other questions, comments there, Patrick?
No, I think Michaela, you read all Malcolm's comments, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it.
Well, thanks, guys. Hopefully, I did ask Jimmy to come in today, but he was busy.
Every time it seems to be the case.
We'll see you next time, you guys.
Bye, guys. It'd be nice to get him back. Dad.
Yeah.